Messages deleted is almost perfect. I'm sure there's room for improvement throughout the bulk of the film, but in general, apart from one thing, I loved every second of this. But that one thing is a spoiler, so I will talk about it at the end with a spoiler warning. For now, though, there won't be any spoilers. The film was released in 2010, it's directed by Rob Cowan, written by Larry Cohen, and we have a cast including Matthew Lillard as our protagonist, Joel Brandt, and he's a screenwriter and a screenwriting teacher. And also, before I go any further, please, if you're going to watch this, do not go onto IMDb or Wikipedia or maybe anywhere else, because it gives away what's happening. It tells you what's going on before it's revealed in the film. And I was upset by that because it ruined it a little bit, because I knew what was going on before it was figured out in the film. So if you are going to watch it, please try and avoid any descriptions, because it kind of ruins it a little bit. And Joel gets this phone call or this message on his answering machine, and then that person ends up dead. And then it happens again. Needless to say, this is a bit too much to be a coincidence. And of course, he does what I think is the right thing and lets the police know, hey, this person phoned me and now they're dead. Of course he becomes a suspect. Why wouldn't he? And then we have to try and work out what actually is going on. And I don't know if it's obvious what was happening because, as I said, I had that information going into it, unfortunately, but I don't think it would have been obvious. And I found it to be, even with that knowledge, I found it to be a really fascinating, thought-provoking, compelling narrative that was very well executed. Joel as a character is very, very likeable. I enjoyed following the story pretty much from his perspective. And there really wasn't anything about the bulk of the narrative I didn't like. Visually, it's great. The pacing's great. The characters are great, as are the performances. If you don't like really gory graphic films, this will be absolutely fine. There are a couple of blood-based scenes, but in general, there's not really a lot to look at that's graphic or anything, so that's not a concern if that's something you're not a fan of. And ultimately, I'd say it's worth watching. I wish I didn't have too much information going into it, but even with that in mind, I still really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I will now mention the one thing that I didn't like, so this is a spoiler. I don't have anything else to say other than thoroughly recommend Messages Deleted. So, spoiler from now. I'm not going to say what happened at the end, but I will say I didn't like it. I found the last 5-10 minutes to just be not great. It went in a direction I wasn't enjoying. It's not that it was badly executed, and I don't 100% think it was the wrong decision. I didn't see it coming. I thought the reveal worked well. But it's not the outcome I wanted for the film or for the characters. Now, to be fair, I don't know exactly what I wanted the outcome to be. I feel like a less dramatic outcome. I don't want to explain what happened. As I said, I don't really want to give it away. If they just made the outcome more in line of where it seemed to be going, it seemed to be going in a certain direction. Honestly, I just would have preferred that. I know they went for something a bit more dramatic, but I would have preferred it if it was just maybe a little bit more obvious, because that outcome would have been more satisfying. So I didn't love the ending, but as I said, I feel like that's maybe down to personal preference. Other people might really thoroughly enjoy the outcome. But for me, the last 5-10 minutes just was completely a different type of film. The quality was not the same. I don't think the decisions were as good. It just wasn't as interesting. But that aside, Messages Deleted is still a fabulous film. And of course, I'm very, very happy to recommend it.